Hello, professionals. My name is Rico Aladdin, and I am the founder of Professional Launch. The organization now is Professional Launch. So now we're starting an AI podcast series, and today's is AI and creativity. AI and creativity. This is the theme for today. So follow the series online so that you can let us know what you think of the content that we are putting out and the guests that we are bringing on to share about AI, artificial intelligence. Today's guest is Dr. Mahalingam Ganapathy. He is a professor at NDSU, Department of Architecture, School of Design and Art. So, did I get that right?
School of Design, Architecture, and Art.
Yes. Wonderful. All right. So, Dr. Mahalingam, please tell the professional launch audience a little bit about yourself.
Good afternoon. First of all, let me thank you for this opportunity to participate in this podcast. AI and creativity is a significant interest of mine now, and I'm glad I have this opportunity to talk about it. I joined the faculty at North Dakota State University in 1993. To give you a cultural perspective, that was the year the World Wide Web was launched. So I've been working with computer technology since then. For my doctoral work, I created what was then called artificial intelligence, which is the older version, which is a rule-based artificial intelligence, a system to design auditoriums. That was the product of my doctoral dissertation at the University of Florida. I left the University of Florida and came to North Dakota State University, as I said, in 1993. I've been teaching architecture for the past 31 plus years at North Dakota State University. My research emphasis is on using computer technology in various ways for the process of architectural design. So computational technologies are a significant interest of mine. With the recent advent of artificial intelligence systems, my curiosity was piqued, and I started exploring AI systems for creative processes over the past 3 to 4 years. So my recent foray in using AI systems creatively is for the creation of music.
Nice. So, when the first time we met, you mentioned you were a professor of, you've been in architecture. I could not, for a minute there, I could not make the connection between the two fields. So I'm glad you kind of touched on that today. So can you share a little bit about your perspective on how AI is currently shaping the creative process in field like art, music, and even in writing?
Okay.
Mhm.
When the public imagination was captured
Mhm.
in November 2022 with the release of ChatGPT, the public was exposed to a system where they could use natural language in the form of prompts submitted to the AI system, and the AI system replied in natural language, which it generated or created.
Mhm.
This was the first example of creativity with an AI system. You spoke to it in natural language, it generated or created a natural language response to your prompt or query. Since then, using language as a via media, AI systems are able to create images, videos, music, computer code, websites, business plans, and the list goes on and on. So, what the technology has done is it has taken what was initially a system intended to generate language and adapted it to so many different creative processes and tasks. So it started with language. The via media is still language.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you have to generate an image, you have to specify the prompt in language.
Mm-hmm.
You have to create a video, you have to specify the prompt in language. You have to create music, you have to specify the prompt in language. So the via media is still language, but the language is transformed into these various creative products. And that's the magic of the technology that people are fascinated with now.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, what do you see as the most exciting opportunities AI offer for enhancing human creativity?
Yeah, the term they're using for that now is called co creativity.
Okay.
You create in collaboration and cooperation with the AI systems.
Okay.
So you have your own creative input, and the AI system provides the other half of the creative input, and you co create these images, videos, music,
Mhm.
websites, business plans, computer code, and all of those things. So
Mm.
this process is treated as co-creation, where it's not entirely created by the human being
Mhm.
and it's not entirely created by the AI system.
Okay.
Even though you can use the AI system to create these things entirely,
Mm.
but what people are leaning to, the creative people, is the co-creation mode, where the partnership is there in the creation between the human and the AI system.
Wonderful. So, I like the word co-create because you don't want to lose the human part of it, right? So when the machine is doing when the AI is doing everything. So, but in that sense, some argue that AI will diminish originality in creative work. So, how do you respond to that critic?
Yeah, if you look at how prompts are created,
Hmm.
let me give you the example of creating an image.
Hmm.
Okay. The creativity lies in how you specify the prompt. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what people are doing in image creation is they are giving it improbable prompts.
Hmm.
For example, one person can ask, create an image of a chipmunk riding a Harley Davidson motorcycle, and the AI system would generate that image. So, this is an improbable concept that is put forth by a creative person who comes up with the prompt, and the AI system executes it and generates the image. So, the creativity is going to be in the prompting,
Hmm.
what you tell or ask the AI system to do. That's where the creativity is going to be focused on. And the AI system is more of a co creating executor
Hmm.
who does these things for you, creates the image, creates the video, creates the music or the website or the computer code or the business plan or your travel plan or your recipe for dinner. It goes on and on.
Okay, so the computer generate this. So how do you define that relationship between human intuition and AI generated solutions in the creative process?
Right. The human is there
Hmm.
in the creative prompting
Okay.
because the idea of a chipmunk riding a Harley Davidson motorcycle,
Yeah.
even though the AI system, if you ask it to prompt something,
Hmm.
it may come up with that from its training data set. But when you give that specific idea to the system, you are in control. You specify what's in the prompt completely. And even though there's a part that the AI system figures out
Yeah.
and executes, the original starting point is still the human being.
Yep. The idea comes from the human being, and then the AI kind of put it together in a sense.
Yes.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. So I know when we met the first time, you show me your YouTube page that has music that you create with AI. So can you share an example of of how that creative project using AI play a significant role in, your I think that's your hobby, yes. In your hobby, because we need hobbies too. We have a professional life. Hobbies keep us entertained. So can you share a little bit about that creative activity that you had?
I got into using AI systems to generate music
Hmm.
just during this winter break
Yeah.
around Christmas time.
Okay.
So I've been at it for about a month now.
Hmm.
And the initial intent was to take my works of poetry and see if I could set them to song. So I taught myself
Hmm.
how to use these AI systems to generate music. And I found out there was a lot of methodology to it. And you start with your original lyrics.
Hmm.
And you want to do that because if the song or music is generated entirely by an AI system, you cannot copyright it.
Hmm.
So you start with your original lyrics, and the AI system extracts melody, harmony, rhythm, notes, chords, chord progressions, all kinds of things from the lyrics and the musical arrangement that you specify. So you're not a musical performer, you don't play an instrument or you
Yep.
don't sing, but you're a songwriter and music arranger.
Hmm.
Uh, so you write the lyrics, you write the song, you make the specifications for the musical arrangement, and the AI system generates the music and the song.
Hmm.
And I found this to be a very powerful creative outlet.
Yeah.
I could sit and write lyrics because I have an affinity for poetry.
Yeah.
I've written 2 books on poetry,
Oh
my
wow.
own poetry, and that interest in poetry made me gravitate to making lyrics and songs and creating music.
Hmm.
I found a niche in creating songs that are based on the blues
Okay.
genre. And I found out you could get into all kinds of detail with your prompting of the AI system that generates music. You could specify tempos, bar structures, beats per minute, all kinds of things that you could structure in your song after generating the original lyrics.
Hmm.
All these songs are now available in a playlist on my YouTube channel. That's just my name, at Ganapathy Mahalingam. And within a period of 1 month, I had about 7.5K viewers.
Wow.
And my subscribers are slowly inching to 100, all starting from scratch.
Nice.
And it's a powerful medium. Uh, People do question whether this is true creativity simply because you're not playing the musical instrument and you're not singing. The AI system is generating all of that. But the creativity is in the lyrics, the songwriting, the
Hmm.
musical arrangement, because you specify the genre, the mood, the vibes, the instruments, the tempo, pretty much a lot of different things about the arrangement, the beats per minute, which key it is in, um, the chord progressions, if you can do that. The All of these things are specified in the prompting
Hmm.
of the AI system. So it is an involved process when it comes to creating the music.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, you kind of lead into what I was going to. I was just going to ask you. Do you think, with that being said, do you think AI can ever truly create in the same way that human do, or is it merely, synthesizing existing data just to, what I mean? So it's like, do you think AI can truly create in the same way human do? Because you have to give the prompt everything that you want, right?
Right.
And then using AI, I would say, as somewhat of a support or something like that, or a
Sure.
helper,
Right. Right.
right?
It's like songwriters who write songs for other artists to
Hmm.
perform.
Yeah.
Right. There's a songwriter who writes a song, and then a musical artist performs that particular song.
Okay.
There's a musical arranger. Quincy Jones is a very good example of a
Yeah. Yep.
very high quality music arranger. He used to arrange the music, but the artist was Michael Jackson. The songwriter was someone else. Uh, so there's a team and a support team that comes together to generate actual music that we see. One interesting thing you asked was, can this be really creative? What most people don't understand is these music systems don't sample another artist's performance and mash it up. They create the entire music bit by bit, piece by piece, and synthesize it together.
Hmm.
So every creation is original because it has not existed in that form before the AI created it.
Mm.
It uses a training data set of other performances, but the training data set is not copied or sampled or used as is. If it does that, then it would violate copyright laws. It doesn't do that. It takes the performances, learns from it,
Hmm.
and then creates the new music bit by bit, piece by piece, note by note, chord by chord, melody by melody, harmony by harmony into the entire song or piece of music.
Wonderful. Before we go to the next question, I have a note for you, the Professional Lunch audience, and also friends that we have. Professional Lunch is a non-profit organization. Professional Lunch is a non-profit organization. And this year we are part of Giving Hearts Day. We ask you to help support the development of our mentoring platform that we are working on right now. And we count on you, friends, guests who have been on the show. We count on you to support Professional Lunch on Giving Hearts Day. And early giving is already started. So if you go on this site right now, remember it's Professional Lunch, and our number on Giving Hearts on the Giving Hearts website is 1900. So find us on the website, on Giving Hearts Day website, and support us. We thank you in advance for your support. Now we're going to continue with the conversation. My next question is, how do you envision the collaboration between AI and human creators evolving in the next, I don't know, say 5 years or 10 years?
One of the things that they point out is it's going to democratize the process of creation. In the past, people who could create
Mm-hmm.
were a limited, talented pool of people, and they would create these wonderful things, and people would enjoy all these
Mm-hmm.
creative products. But now it's opening up that creative process to a lot more people who have latent talent, who can create beautiful things, but hitherto they did not have the ways and means to do it. Now, this technology is enabling a lot of people to move into the creative space in creating language, in creating images, in creating videos, in creating music, in creating a lot of different things.
Mm.
So it's opening up the creative space. And sometimes the established creative people see that as a threat.
Yeah.
They think their space is being invaded. I can see musicians being, you know, apprehensive about this whole technology that creates music based on these AI systems. I can see how they can feel threatened. I can see how when the AI system creates music better
Yeah.
than they can, then it becomes a real threat because it affects their livelihood and their ability to earn money through music. It's a real threat for some, and it's a perceived threat for some. The real successful people are going to be the ones that adapt, that find out what the AI systems can do, take their latent musical talents, and then leverage the AI system to help them create more music,
Hmm.
better music, or move in directions that they could not with the traditional music production process.
Yeah. So you mentioned that, some musician might see it as a threat. Um, I can see that simply because I don't know if I can, um it might be, it might sounds good, but somebody like me, I love live performances. People that are, sitting just with a guitar or playing a piano. There's the emotion in that. It's not the same when you're listening to, when you are listening to a machine, like a CD player or something, like a speaker playing the music. I like that emotion that people put in live music. And I don't know if how many people would feel the same way, but me, I don't think that the music that is created by AI would ever have a higher place in my heart than somebody who just create the music. Even if they were to mess up during performance, I still would like that better than if something a machine create. But that just me, right? But you've worked in this, and you say something that is very important. Musicians who feel threatened or perceive that as a threat, what I think that they should do is see how they can use that to improve their talent,
Sure,
right? So
sure.
that I think that's very good to know. And so, what role do you believe that education and training have in preparing future creatives to use AI effectively?
I think first they need to be exposed to the technology,
Hmm.
and then they should really study the technology for all its constraints and limitations.
Yeah.
Then they should study it for its creative potential,
Hmm.
and then they should explore. They should see how they can apply it in their respective fields. A visual artist can explore how to create beautiful images. A graphic designer
Hmm.
can explore how to create logos, posters, so many different things. A musician can create music. A computer programmer can create computer code. A financial analyst can create a stock prediction mechanism. So, all kinds of things. I wanted to go back to one thing you said earlier.
Hmm.
The business model that people can pursue using AI systems to generate music is you create your songs and music using the AI system, and then hopefully a performing artist like
Ah.
Taylor Swift picks up your song
And
and then performs it live as a performance.
nice, nice.
So that avenue is still there. So
Yeah.
you can, and I think there's a lot of emotion in these conversations. I'll just point out the case in point, which is the set of blues songs
Yep.
that
Yep.
I've created. Blues songs are very emotional, they
Yep.
appeal to the spirit, and that is there.
Yeah.
Granted, the human is not there performing,
Exactly.
but that could happen. A performing artist can listen to the song and say, I want to perform that song.
Yeah.
And then they can do justice as a human performer to that song.
Yeah. Well, so I was about to ask about specific industries that where AI has had a surprising impact on creativity. You mentioned art, you mentioned music, you mentioned pretty much almost every field. Like people, if you educate yourself on how to use it properly in whatever field you are, you can use AI to be more effective with in anything that you are. Is that right?
Yes, and you can expand your
Mhm.
creativity,
Yes, that's the
and
word.
it opens up new methods,
Hmm.
new avenues, new forms of expression,
Yeah.
and opens up a creative space that did not exist before.
Yeah.
and it opens it up to multiple people, not
Mm-hmm.
just a few talented ones. Even if you're an amateur, you can learn many of these systems and become creative and productive in a reasonably short amount of time.
Yeah. Yeah. So how can, creators ensure that their unique voice, their unique style isn't lost in when they are incorporating AI tools to improve their crafts?
Yes, that's a valid question.
Mm-hmm.
Many people beginning to use AI systems, they try to over specify.
Mm.
They want to tell the AI system exactly what they want and want to be produced.
Mhm.
That's not a very constructive approach when it comes to co creation. The trick and technique is you only specify so much that the AI system can leverage and produce something beautiful.
Mm.
So you have to actually restrict yourself from over specification
Yeah.
and controlling exactly what the output is. That's the traditional way of creation, being fully in control of the creative process.
Yeah.
Here, you have to learn to let go a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You have to let the AI system leverage certain parts of the process and then help you in this co creation mode.
Mm.
So that's the thing that's different. You may not be 100% in control of the creative process all the time, yet you can create something beautiful.
Mm. Very cool. Very cool. And you kind of mentioned intellectual property a couple of times. What are your thoughts on intellectual property issues surrounding AI generated content?
Right now, as long as there is human input,
Mm-hmm.
that is, you specify the lyrics or the music arrangement in the example of creating music,
Mm-hmm.
as long as there's human input and you direct some of the process, the work created by the AI systems, at least what all these companies that have these AI systems as subscriptions they allow it to be your property.
Mm.
So the bigger question, and it's really an ethical question, not a legal question, is because these AI systems trained on a lot of data that was performed or created by artists, people say somehow they did not take into account or compensate those artists for using their performances in the training. But the companies are claiming they used what was available on the open internet and they're actually using it for training the AI system. They're not copying, they're not sampling, they're not using anything verbatim
Yeah.
from those performances. The older copyright laws protected just reproduction in the exact same form. You would fix your copyright in a particular form,
Mm-hmm.
and only that was protected.
Yeah.
If you change the form, if you have a derivative work, the whole playing field changed. So these people are claiming, the companies that make these AI systems that generate images, videos, music, what have you,
Mm-hmm.
they're claiming that we use the data only for training. We're not copying it.
Yeah.
We're not sampling it. We're not reproducing it. We're not using it verbatim.
Mm.
It's like anyone watching a whole bunch of YouTube music videos and learning to play chords and melodies and harmonies and
Mm-hmm.
then performing. So they're using a similar argument for justifying using all that musical data on which the AI systems were trained.
Okay. Wonderful. So, how do you see AI contributing to creative problem solving in non artistic fields such as business or science?
Yes, There are systems now that can generate business plans, systems that can generate computer code. You can tell a AI system, generate the HTML code for a website for this particular purpose, and it
Mhm.
generates the entire HTML code for the website, and you can
Wow.
just post it on a web server and you have a website. There are systems that generate computer code to do specific things. And one of the things that's emerging is what's called agentic AI. Because these AI systems can generate computer code, they can do things that computer codes can do, like interact with a website. Like, for
Mhm.
instance, make a booking for travel from here to Florida,
Mhm.
and it would do it for you. It's access your agent. That's because it can generate code. The code talks to the travel agent's website. It
Mhm.
makes a booking. It emails you the booking. It charges your credit card. So these are the kinds of technologies that are emerging in agentic AI, where because it can generate code and can talk to websites and can fill up forms,
Mhm.
can do all kinds of things, that it can be used as an agent to do things for you. And,
Mm.
send office reminder emails,
Mm.
book my trip to Florida, make a hotel reservation in Chicago, buy
Mhm.
the stock when it reaches a particular price,
Mhm.
sell the stock when it reaches a particular price, buy Bitcoin when it reaches this price.
Yeah.
You can
You
program
can
it.
you can you can be, you can improvise with that. You can do a lot of different things.
Yeah.
So that we can understand, we can agree that there's a lot of ways to explore AI with, to create things both with art, both with artistic and non-artistic field, right? But what have you seen, or what do you think is the biggest misconception people have when it comes to AI and creativity?
The, the biggest
Means,
misconception,
yeah.
or rather, it's a slight misunderstanding rather
Okay.
than misconception, is that it has to create something original and creative. If you take language, all language comes from the alphabet.
Mm-hmm.
So you can argue you cannot create anything original because
Yeah.
everything comes from the alphabet,
Yeah.
right? So it's like a similar situation. It comes from existing language, it comes from training data.
Mm-hmm.
But if you take our normal creativity, not AI system based creativity, normal creativity, it's based on the words we have learned.
Yeah.
It's based on an alphabet.
Mm-hmm.
It's based on a language that's culturally established. So the creativity has to spring from that, from your past, from your experience, from culturally constructed things.
Mm-hmm.
And then from that, something emerges that we call creative. People are not willing to grant AI systems the same kind of grace they grant to people.
Yeah. Wow. Very, very cool. Um, have you encountered any limitation or frustration with AI tools when it come in your creative endeavor? And we will talk a little bit about your, what how you have used AI tools to create music in a little bit. But have you encountered any limitation or frustration when you try to use it?
So
Yeah.
I started a long time ago,
Okay.
more than 30 years ago,
Mm.
when I created the auditorium design system for my doctoral dissertation.
Mm-hmm.
And that was based on the older kind of AI, which is a rule based algorithmic system.
Yeah.
And I was able to solve the problem of algorithmic design of auditoriums. So it was possible to do something in architecture where you can generate the spatial form of an auditorium using an algorithm and computational processes.
Mm-hmm.
So part of the doctoral challenge was to show that it's possible and you can do it, which I did to get my PhD
Mm.
degree. But then as I'm seeing the complexities of architectural design, which is the discipline that I've focused on
Mm-hmm.
in my education and in my teaching career, not everything will be possible by AI systems. There are certain things that don't follow the generative processes that AI systems use. The challenge will be to take what we have done traditionally in architectural design
Mm-hmm.
and see if the generative processes in AI systems can do that. In language, it was called the transformer. In image generation, it was called the diffusion model.
Mm.
So there are lots of ways in which these AI systems create or generate. The challenge is how can you make your tasks in architectural design follow those methods or use those methods or leverage those methods. And because the traditional architectural design process has evolved in a particular way using other technologies like drawing, model making, and computer based drawing and
Mm-hmm.
computer based animations and things like that, they have evolved into a different way in which the design are generated in the process. The AI system present a different methodology, a new set of methods and processes. The challenge is how can you do what you used to do?
Mm-hmm.
And then how can you do things that you have never dreamt of
Yeah.
in the past
Mm-hmm.
with these AI systems?
So, we both can agree that AI is changing a lot of industries, especially the creative industry. So, how do you foresee AI changing the economic dynamic of creative industries, especially regarding jobs and opportunities?
That's a very good question.
Mhm.
Right now, people are investing billions, if not trillions of dollars in these AI technologies.
Mhm.
They're creating large foundational models, they're creating training data sets, they're creating data centers, they're creating all kinds of applications, they're forming startups to do these applications. Things are going on. At some point in time, all these people making these billions and trillions of dollars of investment are going to look for a return on investment.
Mhm.
You're going to look for profitability. You're going to require people to be productive in using these technologies. That's what economic activity is all about,
Mhm.
to be productive with these technologies. You can't just create these technologies and have them sit on a shelf,
Yeah.
right? You have to productively use them. They have to provide a return on investment. They have to drive the economy forward. So there is going to be an economic expectation that you use these AI systems creatively and productively. Pretty soon it'll become an imperative because of the scale of the investment. So when you have so much money being poured into it, you can only generate a return on investment on those investments by doing something massively productive.
Yeah.
And that's where the application of AI systems in creative industries comes to play because you're part of that production stream, that production activity that provides the return on investment on all these technologies.
Wonderful. Man, I love that. I love that. If you could, professional lounge is a this podcast is designed to give young professionals who are in college, people who are trying to launch their careers, designed to give them tips and tricks, advice on how to launch their careers. So, if you could give one piece of advice to a young professionals in college right now when it comes to AI creativity on how they can involve that in their education to either take their career to a next level or even at least show the interest so that they can be better when they go out. What would that be?
I would say, first of all, be curious.
Mm-hmm.
Second, be brave.
Mm-hmm.
And third, be diligent in studying these AI systems, what they cannot do and what they can do.
Mhm.
And then don't be afraid to experiment
Yep.
and explore. If you just approach this with an open mind and a positive attitude, and you say, this is something that I could use to do something good for
Yep.
humanity and the
Mhm.
world, then the rest will fall in place.
Wonderful. The reason why I ask is because when we are talking about AI and creativity, I realize you can use it in non-artistic, both in artistic and non-artistic industries. So that I think that regardless of year of the major that someone is in school for, is going to school for, they can always find an aspect of AI that they can use to improve their work.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Hmm.
And that is creativity, right?
Yeah.
What is creativity in the final analysis? It's
Hmm.
something that you do. Technically, you can define everything we do
Being
as a
creative.
creative act
Hmm.
because uh, the past is behind us. We're acting now
Hmm.
and we are producing something that did not exist before, including our thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so everything is in a creative continuum at any given point. So to see this as a separate label is probably a misconception because we are engaged in creativity all the time
Yeah.
in the present based on our past experiences in life. So in that sense, creativity and AI will not go away. It is going to be there and it's going to show up in everything that we create, which can be thoughts in our mind as we speak now.
Wonderful. Well, Dr. Mahalingam, thank you so much for being on Professional Launch today to talk about AI and creativity. This AI podcast series we are starting is sponsored by the Fieldstone Group, powered by the Fieldstone Group. We thank them for their continuous support. We are still trying to find support for this series. If you are a guest, this topic interests you, I reach out to me, DM me on LinkedIn or any of the social media that we follow. You follow us and see how you can support this episode. You can support one episode, or you can support the whole entire series. And if you are a business, we would like to make you part of the podcast where we mention your services so that more people can know you out there and know about your services. We thank you in advance for your support. On a side note, Professional Launch is part of Giving Hearts Day this year. Please support Professional Launch as you are scrolling down to find an organization that aims to make a difference in the life of young professionals. And one thing I like to say, if you ever have a mentor in your life, then you know who to support this Giving Hearts Day. It's us because we're trying to provide the same opportunity for those who are in college, those who are launching their careers. Well, again, we thank you so much for your support. Dr. Mahalingam, thank you again for being on Professional Lunch today. Such a pleasure to have you. Any last words for the Professional Lunch audience?
Just a huge thank you for giving me this opportunity to be on this podcast and share my thoughts and
Won-
ideas.
Wonderful. I enjoy your responses. You really are knowledgeable. You are really knowledgeable on the topic. I'm so glad that I had the opportunity to have you on. And thank you for being on Professional Lounge. Now, this is the part that I tell you it's up to you to make today a great day. Have a great day.